Evening, everybody. It's 5:47 on this Wednesday afternoon, and this is your closing comment. It is video number 1932. Okay, I'm going to try and keep this short tonight because, frankly, it isn't worth talking about. I have not seen as poor a rally as this in a long time. Okay, chart on the screen is the oil. Yes, oil was down $5 today. Wow. All the way back to the point of breakout. And not even that. The point of breakout was around 82 and a half, 83. Today's low was 84.16. That, by the way, that's a fairly familiar number. Um, in any event, uh, here's what I have to say about this rally. It meant nothing. The market was dramatically oversold. Everybody and their brother all of a sudden was so bearish they couldn't stand it. Um, there were some numbers that came. The ADP number was somewhat positive in that it was weak. Let's remember that ADP, whether you like them or the BLS numbers, the ADP numbers are fairly inconsistent and they don't include government workers. So anybody who was going to get laid off, or anybody who's now going to get laid off after or furloughed after November 17th, that's going to be in the BLS numbers the following month. Not so ADP. In fact, ADP doesn't even count striking workers who aren't getting paid as unemployed. They have a job, so they're employed. Okay. Um, KeyBank downgraded Apple. Apple was higher. Not very impressively higher. The stock was up $1.26. Uh, it's down from 190 to 165 this past month. It's still at the top end of its traditional um, PE. So valuation is still high. On top of everything else, there were barely more stocks up than down. On the NYSE, it was so 17 to 11 to the upside. So roughly one and a half, so 3 to 2. Um, Yesterday, it was down 6 to 1. The day before, it was down 5 to 1. The day before, it was down 4 to 1. Volume continues to get weaker and weaker and weaker. 4.3 billion shares was all they could manage, and the advanced declines on the NASDAQ, which clearly was the biggest mover both yesterday and today, 2,400 to 1,920. So roughly 1.2 to 1, 5 to 4. That is not impressive to me. In the other information that we had, so we had the ADP, we had the mortgage apps, which I told you hadn't been published but assumed were down. They were down 6%. That was purchase applications down 6% and refinance down 7%. ISM services PMI decreased 53.6 from 53.7. That's an expansion contraction, so it is a little better. But what does better really mean? Does better mean good economy, higher rates, higher for longer? Factory orders also up 1.2%. So a bit of an increase there, and um, that was 1.2 following an unrevised 2.1 decline. Again, is that good news or bad news? Because frankly, I can't tell. Okay, let's see what else we had. We had the weekly EIA crude inventories with a draw of 2,220,000 barrels following last week's draw of 2,117. 170, pardon me. Um, Also, not terribly impressive. We have yet to put even one um, barrel back into the SPR. So they caught a break. They wanted 65 to 70. They didn't buy at 65 or 70. We went into the 90s. We're now back to 84, 85. Um, when? I don't get it. Also, Clorox reported, and decline in sales from 23 to 28%, margin problems, cybersecurity issues. The stock, which has been down dramatically since that cyber attack, has basically gone from in the neighborhood of 158 down to last week's low of 128. So $30 or just about 20%. And today, um, it closed regular hours 131.83, and that was up $1.58. Then when the numbers came, it fell all the way back to 123. It rallied close to unchanged and now is giving it back again. Currently 128.80. That's down $1.45 plus the $1.38 that it was up. So down on the day. And I saw somebody mentioned something. Well, I'll get to that in a second. But, the political uncertainty about the McCarthy stuff is a real problem because it is likely to complicate negotiations for the next government shutdown threat, which is November 17th. And somebody in here said, well, but none of this stopped the steady march higher of this overdue bounce. To me, it looked like a group of octogenarians in their walkers at the Golden Corral early bird special buffet. That's what it looked like to me. 4.3 billion shares after the kind of action we've had on the downside. Everything that they call a rally. Nothing has changed. Nothing. Tomorrow we have weekly claims, continuing claims, August trade balance, always a big negative, and the weekly nat gas. And then on Friday, we have the really big numbers. We have the BLS number, the big government number, non farm payrolls, non farm private payrolls, average hourly earnings, unemployment rate, average work week, and my favorite at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, consumer credit. So there you go, folks. Good luck with that. I sincerely hope everybody made money today, but don't get used to it. Nothing's changed. And this market is not finished on the downside.